Hey guys, tonight we're drifting back in time, farther than the pyramids, deeper than Rome, to a quiet kingdom tucked in the folds of the Himalayan foothills. Imagine this: silk curtains billowing in the morning breeze, sandalwood smoke curling gently from golden censers, and a baby who, according to legend, took 7 steps the moment he was born. You probably won't survive this. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you really enjoy what I'm doing here. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from, and what time it is in your part of the world. I love seeing who's drifting off with me from across the globe. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for a gentle background hum, and let's begin tonight's journey together. You are born into quiet, not just silence, but a cultivated hush, the kind reserved for palaces. No raised voices, no hurried steps, no barking dogs or merchant chatter bleeding through the gates. It's spring, in the 6th century, before anything important has happened. The city of Kapilavastu sits nestled between forest and field, where peacocks scream in the distance, and jasmine blooms in soft clusters along the stone walls. You arrive under a full moon. Your mother, Queen Maya, is on her way home from her parents' palace when she pauses in a garden grove. Under the cooling shade of a blooming sal tree, she leans against the bark, and with one final breathless moment, you are born. Legend says you emerge standing, walking, speaking. But right now, in this story, you're only a child. Warm, sleepy, and swaddled in cloth woven by the hands of temple maidens. Your cry is soft. You do not speak. You do not walk. You sleep. And around you, the world arranges itself accordingly. Inside the palace walls, servants move like river water. No one shouts. Oil lamps flicker low. Your father, King Siddhartha, does not hold you right away, he bows. Yes, bows. Because court astrologers are already whispering that you are not like other children. You will either become a great king or a great sage. He hopes for the first. So your nursery is built with marble floors and golden railings. 3 separate mansions are planned, one for winter, one for summer, one for the sweet honey-laced months of rain. Each is surrounded by walls high enough to block out the suffering of the world. Because the plan is this: you will never feel discomfort. Not too hot, not too cold. No illness, no sadness, no need. You are to become the finest prince in all of India, and you are to stay asleep to the pain of others. But sometimes, when the wind is just right, you hear the village beyond the palace. You don't know the words, but you understand the sounds. A child falling, a woman weeping, an old man coughing on the back of a bullock cart. These noises come and go, just like dreams do. And soon you forget. You grow into your early boyhood surrounded by dancers and musicians, garden pools, scented baths, and trays of pomegranate seeds laid gently beside your tiny throne. Your tutors bow before they correct you. Your toys are carved from ivory and mother of pearl. And still, somehow, you're not spoiled. You're curious, quiet, watchful. When you are 7, you are taken to the plowing festival. You sit beneath a rose apple tree while the others eat, and for the first time, something strange happens. You watch the plow split the earth. You see a worm sliced in half, squirming. A beetle devoured by a bird. Sweat on the brow of the ox. Blood on the farmer's heel. And your heart, still small, still soft, aches with a feeling no one has ever taught you the name of. Compassion. You slip into meditation for the first time. Unknowing. Natural. Deep. When your attendants find you, they don't understand what they've seen. They wrap you in silks, feed you sweet cakes, and take you home. But you've seen something they can't unshow you. And though you return to your scented halls, your golden toys, your well-oiled tutors, you are no longer asleep. Not fully. Not ever again. Hey again. If you're still with me, your pillow's probably just the right temperature now, and your eyes might be heavier than they were 5 minutes ago. That's perfect. You're doing amazing. Now, keep that fan humming, let your jaw unclench a little, and let's drift a bit deeper into the life of the boy who was never meant to suffer. You are a prince. No, really a real prince. Not the dramatic, sword-wielding, dragon-slaying kind. You're the other kind. The spotty everyday kind. The soft linen, gold-threaded robes, mango-sweet kind. Your name is Siddhartha. It means he who achieves his aim. And every morning, your only aim is to choose between 6 pairs of slippers. Antelope hide, gold-stitched silk, lotus petal dyed wool from cashmere. The palace seamstress lays them out in silence. You never have to ask. There are servants for everything. Servants who fill your morning bath with petals and camphor, servants who brush your hair with combs of carved sandalwood, servants who recite verses while you're falling asleep. And yet, there is no arrogance in you, because no one ever told you this wasn't normal. This is just life as you know it, a slow, choreographed dream of soft food and softer voices. Outside the palace, the world creaks forward like an old bullock cart, mud, sweat, hunger aging. But inside, time is a loop of soft cushions and open balconies, flute music and murmured Sanskrit. You're not allowed to leave. It's not punishment. It's protection. Your father has made it his personal mission to guard your senses from anything unpleasant. He's obsessed with keeping the astrologer's prophecy in check. He wants you to become a king, not a wandering sage in the woods with dreadlocks and a begging bowl. So, he builds you a world inside a world. When you turn 16, that world expands slightly to include a wife. She is beautiful. Her name is Yesodhara, and she comes from a noble family. She is elegant, gentle, intelligent, and also a bit mysterious. You like that? Your marriage is the kind poets write about. There is no scandal, no betrayal, just two young royals strolling among lotus ponds, tossing flower garlands, exchanging playful glances across meals under the moon. You are adored, and for a while, that adoration feels enough. Banquets follow meditation. Dance follows study. Gold follows gold. In your new palace, they've built a concert hall just for you. The ceiling is inlaid with precious stones, designed to reflect light like stars. A full troupe of musicians lives there permanently. Your nights fall asleep to sitars and reed flutes. Even the seasons obey your father's plan. In summer, you live in a mansion lined with sandalwood and fanned by servants around the clock. In winter, you're surrounded by heavy drapes and glowing braziers that smell of clove and pine. In monsoon season, you retreat into the rain palace, where every wall is coated in a lacquer designed to make the thunder sound like a lullaby. Luxury doesn't even feel like luxury anymore. It just feels like the way things are. But still, there's that feeling again. Small, persistent, like a breeze sneaking through a sealed window. A knowing. Something is missing. You don't know what it is yet. You can't name it. No one has taught you the vocabulary of emptiness. But it follows you anyway. Not loudly, not rudely. Just a slight sense, every now and then, that perfection, true, complete, lasting perfection, cannot be built with gold. Sometimes, late at night, you step out onto the marble terrace barefoot. The stones are cold. You like that. It reminds you that you have a body, that you are not entirely a dream. And when you look out past the garden walls, you wonder what lies beyond the tamarind trees, the guards, the well-kept hedges. You wonder what kind of world your father is so afraid for you to see. You wonder, just for a second, if suffering could really be that dangerous. And then, the music starts again, and the breeze smells like cardamom, and the moonlight settles over your shoulders like a silk shawl, and you forget, for now. Hey, welcome back. Or maybe you never left. Maybe your eyes fluttered open for just a second, and here you are again, halfway between dreaming and remembering. Wherever you are in that sleepy swirl, you're doing great. Let's press further into the palace walls. We're getting close now, close to the moment when the silence begins to break. You wake one morning not to birdsong, not to incense, but to the sound of your own breath. It's louder than you remember, like it's trying to tell you something. You sit up in bed. The light falls across your chamber just the way it always does, cutting diagonally through the silk drapes and setting the floor tiles glowing. Your slippers are waiting. Your robes are folded. Everything is in its proper place. But something feels off. You can't name it. You just feel it in the stillness. Like a harp string has been plucked in a room where no one's playing music. You step outside. A peacock calls in the distance, almost mockingly. You decide you want to see the city. Not the courtyards. Not the private gardens. Not the ceremonial promenade where everyone lines up and throws petals at your feet. The real city. Your father resists at first. He offers distractions, a new feast, a royal hunt, a boat trip down the river. But your insistence is quiet, gentle, steady. He gives in. Sort of. He arranges a ride through the city, but only after ordering the streets cleared of anything unsightly. No illness, no death, no beggars. The path is swept. The citizens are scrubbed. Musicians are placed on corners to make the air sound like celebration. But even the best plans unravel under the weight of real life. Your charioteer is Channa. He's older than you, wiser, and just loyal enough to hesitate before lying. As the horse-drawn chariot glides through the streets, you catch your first glimpse of something unexpected. An old man, wrinkled, stooped, moving like time has caught up with his bones. You turn to Channa. What is that? And Channa, with nowhere left to hide the truth, says it. That is old age, my prince. It comes to us all. You say nothing, but you don't forget. You return the next day. This time, another figure appears, thin, trembling, skin clinging to bones like cloth on sticks. His breath is uneven, his body broken by something you've never seen before. You ask again, what is that? Channa lowers his eyes. That is sickness, my prince. It keeps happening. On your third outing, you see a funeral procession. A lifeless body wrapped in white linen, carried by mourners whose faces sag not from etiquette, but from actual grief. Channa doesn't wait for your question this time. That is death. 3 outings, 3 truths, each one peeling back a layer of the silk you've been wrapped in since birth. And yet, on the 4th day, something different. A man in rags, but not sick, not old, not grieving. He walks barefoot. His head is shaved. His eyes are clear. He owns nothing, carries nothing, and seems to need nothing. He radiates something you've never seen before, peace. You ask, and Channa tells you. That is a renunciant, my prince. A seeker. One who has left everything to understand the truth of life. You sit in silence as the chariot rolls on. But your heart is no longer where it was. Back in the palace, the walls feel closer. The gold looks dimmer. Even your food begins to taste like memory instead of delight. You stare at the dancers, the musicians, the petals raining from the ceiling, and suddenly, it all feels like a stage set built to keep you asleep. And now you are awake. Not fully. Not yet. But the dream is fading. And the quiet luxury that once rocked you to sleep now sounds more like a lullaby meant to keep you from hearing the truth. You cannot unsee. You cannot unknow. And deep down, behind your royal calm, a question is forming. What is this life, really? And why does it hurt? Hey again. You're still here, floating just beneath the surface of sleep, maybe barely blinking, or already dreaming with one ear open. Either way, don't move. Let the rhythm carry you. We're approaching a turning point now. Still quiet, still soft, but steady as moonlight. Let's go. It begins like any other evening. Perfumed lanterns glow in the corridors. Someone's playing the veena in the east wing. The floor has been swept with rosewater. Yasodhara is waiting in the courtyard garden, dressed in deep indigo silk. You walk past it all. Your steps are slow, like you're underwater, because something has settled in your chest, too quiet to call pain, too heavy to be dismissed. It's like a thread tugging at the very center of your being, asking, always asking, is this all? The palace answers with its usual chorus, beauty, comfort, indulgence. But none of it lands. Tonight, the gold feels cold. The incense smells like a distraction. The laughter sounds hollow, as if it's echoing from another world you no longer live in. Yasodhara touches your arm gently. You're quiet, she says. You smile, but you don't answer. Because how do you explain to someone that the life you've shared is made of illusions? That each gift, each feast, each song has become a thread in the veil that keeps truth just out of reach? Instead, you excuse yourself. You step out into the night. The sky is clearer than it has ever been. The stars feel painfully bright. The moon is full again, just as it was the night you were born. You walk past the guards. They don't stop you. Why would they? You've never broken a rule in your life. You've never asked for anything but understanding. Channa is waiting. You asked him earlier, quietly, urgently, to prepare your horse. Kanthaka, white as a snowdrift, loyal as your own heartbeat. The horse shifts in place, sensing something different tonight. You're not wearing royal robes, just a plain tunic. Still finer than most men could afford, but simple. Intentional. This is the beginning. And you know it. You climb into the saddle without ceremony. Channa mounts behind you. Neither of you speaks. The palace fades behind you like a mirage, stone and silk and gold turning to mist in the corner of your eye. The gates open. You ride into the night. The world beyond is not lit. It's cool, rough, uneven. You pass sleeping villages, smoldering cook fires, dogs curled beside doorways. You see how people actually live, not through the lens of parades or curated walks, but honestly. By morning, you reach the edge of a forest, and there, beneath a neem tree, you dismount. You take one last look at the saddle, the reins, the familiar rhythm of life as you knew it. And then, you reach for your dagger. Not to hurt, only to cut. You shear away your hair, fistful by fistful. It falls at your feet in black loops. You remove your earrings, your rings, your princely belt. Every piece drops with a hush like the end of a poem. Channa stares. His mouth is open. His hands tremble. He begs you to return. He pleads, but you only bow. You hand him your royal ornaments. You ask him to take the horse back to the palace, to tell no one what direction you went. He doesn't want to leave you, but he does, because something in your eyes says you are no longer a prince. You are something else now. You step barefoot into the woods. The trees open like a breath. The sky disappears behind branches. The air is thick with dew and promise. You walk into it, not as royalty, not as a ruler, not even as a husband or father or son. You walk into it simply as a seeker, with nothing, wanting nothing, only truth. And for the first time in your life, you feel free. Hey, still here? That's impressive. Most people would have fallen asleep by now, or gotten up to check if they left the stove on. But not you. You're floating, somewhere between moonlight and memory, where time doesn't matter and the forest is just beginning to whisper. So, close your eyes just a little tighter. Let's follow the sound of leaves. You are alone, truly alone, for the first time in your life. No guards, no musicians, no servants rushing ahead to scatter petals in your path. The silence is not curated. It is not gentle. It's thick, raw, and buzzing with insects. You sleep on the ground now. There's no cushion, no scent of jasmine. Only dirt, roots, and the strange, constant chill that comes from not knowing what tomorrow holds. And still you do not turn back. You wander, village to village, forest to field. Sometimes people offer you food. A small bowl of rice, a handful of lentils, water in a cracked clay cup. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just stare, wondering why someone so clearly born of privilege has chosen this. You never explain, because even you don't know yet. You study with teachers, one after another. There's a Siddhartha Gautamaâ. He teaches you how to empty the mind, how to let your thoughts dissolve into a calm so deep it swallows the world. And it works. For a while. You learn how to hover in that stillness, far from pain, untouched by desire. But the moment you return from meditation, suffering is still there, just waiting. Then there's Siddhartha Gautamaâ. His teachings take you further, into the vast, shimmering nothingness beyond form and beyond consciousness. It's like stepping off the edge of the known world and floating in infinity. But again, when you open your eyes, you're still you. The world is still broken. You thank your teachers. You bow. And then you leave. Because you're not looking for escape. You're looking for the end of suffering itself. And so, you try something new. Something extreme. You find a group of ascetics, 5 in total, who believe that the body must be starved, punished, broken in order to transcend it. They believe that pleasure is the enemy, that the path to truth lies through pain. You join them. You eat less, and less until your ribs form a cage over your stomach. You sleep on thorns. You breathe just once a minute. You hold your breath until your vision flickers. You become a ghost of your former self. Your skin hangs loose. Your eyes sink in. You are so thin that you can touch your spine from the front. And the world calls you holy. People begin to whisper your name with reverence. You are Siddhartha, the prince who walked away, the sage who lives on 1 grain of rice a day. But inside, something is breaking. Not in the painful way you expected, but in the hollow way you feared. Because you are no closer to understanding the truth than when you slept on cushions and drank sweet mango milk. You are just hungry, and tired, and stuck. One morning, as you sit beneath a tree, your hands shaking, your breath weak, you hear something. A memory. Music. A stringed instrument, faint but clear. You remember something your father once said as he tuned his vina. If the string is too tight, it will snap. If it is too loose, it will not play. That thought breaks something open inside you. All this time, you've been pulling the string tighter and tighter. And still no music. Just silence. That afternoon, you do something unthinkable. You accept food. A young village woman named Siddhartha offers you a bowl of warm rice cooked in milk. Fragrant. Creamy. Steaming in the morning sun. You take it, and the world gasps. The 5 ascetics leave you. They think you failed, betrayed the path, given in to weakness. They don't understand. But you do. You finally understand. The truth isn't in extremes. Not in gold. Not in dirt. Not in silk pillows or thorny mats. There is another path. A middle one. And you are going to find it. Hey! Still drifting. Good. Your breath is slow now. Your limbs feel warm and heavy, like they're part of the ground. Perfect timing. Because this next part isn't about movement. It's about stillness. The kind that stretches out across hours, days, maybe lifetimes. Let's go there together. The sky is flat gray when you find the tree. A fig tree. Wide and low and patient. Its roots twist into the earth like old fingers. Its leaves shimmer, even without wind. It doesn't stand out, except to you. You know, the second you see it, that this is the place. This is where you'll sit, and not leave, not until you know the truth. You lower yourself onto the ground. It's not dramatic. There are no drums, no thunder. Just a man, thin and quiet, folding his legs and closing his eyes beneath a tree that doesn't care who he is. And you say, softly, but with all the weight of your soul, I will not rise from this spot until I see the end of suffering. Then silence. Real silence. The kind that hums under your skin. It's not peaceful at first. Your body hurts. Your thoughts wander. You think about Yasodhara, about your son, Rahula, whose name means fetter, chain. You never even held him. You think about your father, about Channa, about the white horse who carried you to the edge of the world. And then you think of nothing. Because thinking runs out, and only being remains. But not alone. As the night deepens, something stirs. Not outside. Inside. They call it Mara, the tempter, the whisperer, the shadow. He arrives not as a monster, but as a feeling. A flicker of doubt. A breath of fear. Then he takes form. He sends his daughters, desire, discontent, delight. They dance in circles around you, try to catch your eye, twist themselves into every shape of longing. You do not move. Mara frowns. He sends his armies. Thousands of spectral archers. Creatures of smoke and ash and hate. They howl. They charge. They raise their weapons. And still you sit. The arrows turn to petals before they reach you. They fall softly in your lap. Mara grows desperate. He comes himself now, tries the oldest trick, identity. Who are you to think you can find the truth? Who are you to challenge the suffering of the world? And you answer, not with pride, not with power. You touch the earth, just one fingertip, gently pressing the ground. And the earth bears witness. They say it shook, just slightly. Or maybe that was just your heart realigning with its own quiet center. Mara disappears. Dawn comes. Soft and slow, like it always does. The sky goes from black to blue, to pale gold. And in that light you see it. Not with your eyes, but with something deeper. The wheel. The cycle. Birth, death, rebirth. Desire, clinging, suffering. And the way out. Not by fighting. Not by running. But by seeing. Clearly. Finally. And when you open your eyes, everything is the same, and everything is different. You are still beneath the tree. The world still spins. But you are no longer Siddhartha. You are Buddha, the awakened one. Hey, just checking, how's your pulse? Slower now. Good. Because this next part is delicate. It's not triumph. It's not applause. It's what happens after you survive the fire and step back into the village with ashes in your hair. Let's begin. You sit for a while longer beneath the fig tree. It has no idea what just happened. To the tree, You're still just a skinny man with nothing but silence in his lungs and dirt on his ankles. And honestly, that's kind of perfect. Eventually, you rise. Not with ceremony. No lightning, no golden halo. You just stand up. Your knees crack. Your back aches. You're human again. But something inside you is different. There's no tightness. No hunger. No grasping. Your mind moves like a calm lake. No wind, no ripples. You begin walking. You don't know exactly where you're going. There's no grand plan. No map. You just feel pulled, gently, toward people. Toward noise. Toward life. And soon you see them. A group of 5 men, sitting cross-legged beneath another grove of trees. Familiar faces. The same 5 ascetics who once followed you, who watched you starve, who watched you eat, and who left you in disappointment. They see you approaching and scoff. They whisper to each other. They shake their heads. Here comes the man who gave up. Here comes the one who couldn't finish the path. But then you arrive, and you say nothing. You sit among them quietly, and your stillness is different now. Not strained. Not rigid. It's soft. Effortless. It fills the air. Like a full moon rising silently behind the clouds. And they notice. One by one, they look at you again. This time not with judgment. With curiosity, and then reverence. You speak, not like a prince, not like a sage, just simply. You speak of suffering, and of its cause, not monsters or fate or punishment, but craving, wanting, the constant tug toward what isn't here. You speak of the way out, of seeing clearly, letting go, living awake. You call it the middle way, neither indulgence nor denial, neither silk robes nor thorn beds. Just presence, breath, attention. You don't claim divinity. You don't offer salvation. You only describe the path, like pointing to a mountain from a valley and saying, "There, that's where I came from." And somehow that's enough. They believe you, not because you command it, but because it feels like something they've always known but forgotten. And so, they begin to follow you. Not as a prince, not as a god, but as someone who walked into the fire and came out with a quiet smile. Word spreads. At first, slowly, then like wind through dry grass. People gather. They don't come for miracles. They come for peace. They sit at your feet and ask, "How do we live?" And you say things like, "Breathe. Let go. Be kind. Wake up." You never carry a weapon. You never raise your voice. You never write a book. But you walk. For 40 years you walk, village to village, field to field, sometimes barefoot, sometimes in storms, sometimes with a bowl in your hand and nowhere to sleep. And the world listens. Even kings sit in the dirt beside farmers to hear your voice. You never return to the palace. You never wear gold again. You never ask for anything. And yet, you give something that even the richest cannot buy. The permission to stop chasing. To sit. To see. To be free. Here we are, at the final quiet chapter of boring history for sleep. The Buddha's early life was mostly quiet luxury. Let's take the last step slowly. No fanfare. Just you, the wind, and the hush of something sacred. Hey again. You've almost made it. If you're still awake, congratulations, or condolences. This is the softest part. The cool down. The afterglow. No more choices to make. No more roads to walk. Just breath and stillness. Let's finish together. You are old now. The lines around your eyes are deep. Your shoulders are thin. Your feet are calloused from decades of walking barefoot between towns, across dust and stone and fields of wild grass. You have no palace. Your followers built no temples. You still carry only a bowl, a robe, and the memory of a tree that waited. And yet, the world comes to you. Monks, farmers, merchants, kings. They sit beside you in silence, ask questions in whispers, and you answer with less and less. Because words aren't the point anymore. Living is. One day, in a little village called Kushinagar, you feel your body begin to loosen. It's not sudden, not frightening. It's just soft, like a leaf finally falling after holding on through one last breeze. You lie down between 2 sal trees. The sun is setting. The light is golden. The air smells like dry bark and spring rain. The monks gather around you. Some are crying. Some are silent. Some are smiling through their tears, like they've seen this coming for years. You tell them the truth again one last time. All things are impermanent. Work out your own salvation with diligence. You do not give a list of rules. You do not name a successor. You do not demand monuments or relics. You simply breathe, in, out, until there's no more you breathing, just the breath itself, moving through the trees and the sky and the soft bodies of everyone still listening. They say the trees bloomed out of season that night, that the moon paused mid-sky, that for one moment the world held its breath. But you're gone before any of that matters, because you weren't trying to be remembered. You were only trying to see clearly and help others do the same. And somehow that was enough. That's it. That's the story. No sword fights. No miracles. No thunderclaps. Just a quiet luxury of walking away from everything until you walk into everything. You probably didn't survive it. Sleep well. And if you're still here, go ahead, dim the screen, take one last deep breath, and float gently into that fig tree silence of your own. Good night. Thanks for listening, and if you made it this far, seriously, well done. Or sweet dreams. If you enjoyed this kind of sleepy history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your time and location in the comments. I always love seeing where you're tuning in from. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay cozy, stay curious, and good night.